Hi guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, quick reminder to go and take our property course. It is a course that has really everything we know about purchasing a property in Italy. So if you're thinking about doing that, you're going to need the course and look below for the details. Hi guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, I wanted to take a moment and address some questions that have been coming through, both on the channel, but more really via email. Now, if you have seen Ivan De Luca's video, the interview video we did about the crazy Calabrian property prices, you would know that the property situation over in Calabria, especially in our Riviera di Cedri, is quite unique. There are certain set of circumstances that have occurred that have made a lot of properties come available on the market. These are mostly vacation properties, but there's also homes and things like that. It's a very aggressive buyer's market right now, and that's what we're seeing. So people have been writing going, well, does it make sense for me to purchase a vacation rental in Italy? And there's a couple ways to go. I mean, you could purchase your vacation home, and when you're not in it, you can rent it out and make a little extra money. Or you can buy a unit or two and run them as Airbnb or Booking.com vacation rentals. Now, since we've been getting a lot of questions on this, Pete and I have developed another course that we're going to roll out pretty soon in the next few weeks, and it's how to purchase, set up, and run your B&B, like your Airbnb or Booking.com B&B, in Italy. And it's going over everything we can possibly think of that we've run into when we purchased ours and as we're running ours. So it's a really good course. It goes over several things, which I'm going to touch on a little bit as I go over the next item of interest that we're going over, which is who should think about it and who is probably not right for. So I wanted to touch on a few things that a person who is thinking about it, and if you sort of fit into these categories, then it might be a good option for you. So the first thing on that list is if you've ever dreamed of owning a B&B or a hotel or something like that, this is a good way to sort of ease into it, right? You start with one property, you rent it out, you do what you need to do on it, and you find out if you like that kind of lifestyle, and then you can get more. Now, if you love real estate and you want to finance your addiction to buying it, this might be a good option as well. Another thing is if you're in love with a certain area and you want to share it with people, and that's really the root cause of why Pete and I do what we do. If you're that type of person and that's the kind of thing you want, then this is a really good way to go about it. Now, if you want to finance your retirement, this is also another option. In our course, Pete has written a whole article on how to use your self-directed IRA in order to purchase properties and run them in order to keep generating funds for your retirement. Now, Pete and I plan on living forever. I don't want my 401k ever to run out of money, and I intend to be here for quite a long time, especially in Italy. So what we've done is we've used our self-directed IRA funds and we've purchased properties with the money, and then we can use the money to renovate or do for expenses and that sort of thing too. In doing that, once you get everything up and running, the money just keeps coming back in. Obviously, you have to look at return on investment and all that stuff, which we go over in the course. But if you do it right, you can have a constant supply of money coming into your IRA so that you don't run out of money. Now, another possibility is, let's say you want a vacation home of your own and you want to offset the costs of it. What you can do is you can rent it out when you're not there. Basically get a big armoire, put a lock on it, put all your stuff in it, and then rent it out as an Airbnb or a Booking.com rental. Now, one of the vital points of handling rental properties remotely is you have to be able to handle people well, and you have to be able to do it remotely, which is a challenge. I'll be honest with you, it's a challenge. Emails and conversations and things like that where you're not there can be misunderstood. And there can be information left out that you have to then dig for or whatever to really get an idea of what's happening in a certain circumstance. So you have to be really good about directing people, handling them, maintaining the relationships with them. It can be frustrating at times when you don't understand what's going on. When we first got our Airbnb in Praia Mare, I had a tendency to freak out a little bit, like, oh my God, that's the worst thing that ever happened to me. Well, it wasn't the worst thing, and Yvonne handled everything. But remotely, it's a little bit of a difficulty, and if you can handle people remotely, that's a good thing. Now, another point that's also important is if you're good with setbacks and barriers. Any kind of real estate transaction, any kind of rental situation, there are going to be things that happen. And if you're completely thrown by that, then it's probably not a good idea to enter into something like this. But if you're good with it, and you recognize that it's part of the process, it's part of the game of running your B&B and whatnot, then that's great. It might be a good option. Another thing is if you're a proactive person and you see opportunities, but also if you see things coming down the line that may not be good. If you're that type of person that can look in the future and see how things roll out, great. And if you jump on them, that's even better. On the opposite side, we have who should not look at going into something like this. People are different. People's stress levels are different. Their ideas about things are different. So none of this is a good or bad thing. It's just, hey, it may be for you and it may not be for you. So someone who might not want to enter into something like this is someone who's very risk averse. If risk makes you nervous, I would not enter into it. There's always risk in real estate, and there's risk in renting properties out. There's always things that can happen, and if you get stressed about it, it just won't be worth it. If you're thrown by upsets and barriers and get really upset by them, like I initially did, this might not be a good option for you. It can really, it depends on how you handle stressors and things like that. If you sort of roll over them and they don't haunt you throughout your life or whatever, then that's okay. But if it's going to ruin your day or ruin your experience, I just wouldn't do it. You know, there are some people that some negative experience ruins everything. And if that's the way you are, then don't. Another type of person who might not want to enter into something like this is somebody who has difficulty handling people. And, you know, if you have trouble with work relationships, you have trouble with your family relationships or whatever, I think it's going to be very, very difficult to maintain a remote relationship with the people you work with if you've had problems maintaining a relationship with the people that you are with every day. Another person who might not want to enter into this is somebody with very set expectations, like it has to be a certain way. When I was in the travel business, I had people like that, and it was very hard to make them happy. If they have a set idea how things should be, it's almost never that way. There's always other things that enter in. There are other people's viewpoints, other people's set ideas about what they think should happen. So if you are going into it expecting things to be a certain way, you're going to be disappointed. So in a nutshell, that's just an idea of who should and who shouldn't think about owning a rental property in Italy, or actually probably anywhere. Stay tuned for our course. It's going to have all of this and more in it. And of course, let us know if you're interested in the remote property purchase program. We are rolling that out. We are probably going to launch it at the beginning of April because we're heading over in the middle of April, and we didn't want to launch it too soon before we go. So that's probably what we're looking at. I've already got several people on the waiting list. So send me an email if you're interested, and I will make sure that we communicate with you and get you lined up. So I hope this helps you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to Italy. It's coming up very, very soon, and we will be doing a lot of content from there. So we'll see you soon.